Think of Python modules like cheat codes. One import and suddenly your code can do math, talk to internet, or control files. Today, you will learn how to utilize import to start using Python modules. Hello coders, welcome to my channel. I am David, your guide to mastering programming. First, let's clarify what modules is. Modules in Python are files that contain Python code, usually some functions, classes, or variables. And importing is simply bringing those functions, classes, or variables from one module to another. To import a module in Python, you need to write the keyword import and then the module name. Python has a lot of built-in modules, but I will show you the specialties of importing on math module. For example, I can call a sqrt function for square root. Now, if I want to call this function, I need to write the module name so the Python knows from which module I want that function. And then here, as you can see, sqrt, and here write 9. Now, when I run this code, as you can see, it prints 3. But maybe you don't want to drag this math if you are going to have a lot of these math functions, and this will simply slow you down. In that case, you can use alias, which is simply renaming the modules or functions, which I will show you later. To do that, you need to write as and then write the name you want, for example, just m. So this is read import math as m. Now, if I want to get this sqrt function, I need to write m and then dot function name. As you can see, it prints 3 again. But there's even a better way. For example, if you know that you are going to use only the sqrt function, in which case you don't need to import the whole math module and all the functions, variables, and classes that this module has. In that case, you need to write this code from math import sqrt. Now, you don't have to write this dot because Python already knows that this sqrt function is imported from a math module. Now, when you run this code, as you can see, it prints 3 again. Also, you can import all the functions and classes and variables from a certain module if you write here asterisk sign or star, however you want to call it. Now, you can get all the functions without writing the module before the function. This is not recommended because it creates some namespace problems. If you want to import all variables and functions from math module, it's better to write simple import and then the math module. Also, you can use alias in this case as well. For example, here I want to import sqrt, but I don't want the name of the function to be sqrt. For example, I want it to be just s. Now, as you can see, Python knows that s is an alias for sqrt and that sqrt comes from math module. So you simply need to write s. Now when I run this, as you can see, it prints 3. Until now, I have shown you how to work with built-in modules, but all the rules apply with your own modules that you create. When you create some Python code, as you can see here, like my helper function, my helper module here, you can import all the functions and variables that it has in your other modules. I can here write from helper module import a as capital A. Now I can simply write capital A and I expect to see I am capital A. As you can see, it prints I am and then capital A. There is one more important technique, but this one is more advanced. So I will show you just one example and one use case. It's called dynamic importing. First, let's name some variable that will contain the module name. For example, math underscore module will have name math. Now, here I'll write my module, for example, math. It doesn't have to be math, it can be just m. Let's list it as m so it doesn't confuse you. And here I need to write a special method underscore underscore import, then again underscore underscore, and here write, and here pass my module name, math, for example, math module. Now this import will import this math module and store it in this m. So if I want to access the sqrt function as before, I can simply write m.sqrt and here write, for example, 9. Now I expect to see 3. As you can see, 3 is printed just like before. But now maybe you wonder, why would you even write this? It takes 3 lines of code, as before you could only write this in 2. This is dynamic importing. It's called dynamic because it imports at a runtime, which means you can choose if you want to import it or not. And that's one basic use case that I want to show you. For example, we have this math module here, and we can ask the user n input and ask the user if he wants to import the math module or no. So we will here write y/n to ask him if he wants. He needs to write y, and if he doesn't, then he needs to write n. So here I will print if n equals y, then we will import this m module. If he writes n, then we want nothing. I forgot here. Now here I'll write y. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. This m was imported. But if he writes n here, as you can see, name error, m is not defined. I hope you found this video helpful. Like and subscribe for more coding content. See you in my next video. Until then, keep coding.